Hi, this is our favorite segment of all the videos that we're going to take because this is the actual segment where the Texture Magic does its magic thing. We have already sewn the Texture Magic to the fabric and now we're ready to apply heat and steam. The whole secret to Texture Magic and the texturizing is the steam. So you need to use a heating element that can produce a lot of steam. Most quilters have a very good steam iron in their arsenal, and so for people who want to try it, let's start with a steam iron. I will place the steam right over it.
I love how almost immediately you've got great texture forming. It's like it's alive.
I'd like to say, we never know what it's really going to look like till it's done. You know the texturizing process is finished when it lays flat. To prevent it curling up next to the iron, you can pin it to your surface, your steaming surface, your ironing board.
If you're at a class and don't have an ironing board, you can put a towel down and pin it to that.
And that way, it stops it from curling up next to the iron, which it just did in that corner. Okay. When it's completely flat, the shrinking process is finished, which is important. So now we can actually turn it over on this side and we can apply steam.
You could actually touch it with the iron on this side. It's not going to hurt because it's not going to be touching the Texture Magic. Heather, let's show them why they don't want to touch the Texture Magic with their iron.
Okay, here we have what we've just done, and here's a sample we have. When we say don't touch it with your iron, everyone expects that they're going to have a problem. Now this is my very expensive iron. I'm going to touch right on here.
She's going to show you what happens. So you can see she's touching it right on top with her iron. It's not sticking to her iron, it's not melting, it's not ruining it, but what happens is the consistency of the Texture Magic gets kind of stiff. Now you might be making a bag or something and that's not going to bother you in the least, but if you're making a little christening gown for an infant, you don't want that to be stiff and crunchy kind of sounding. Can you hear that?
Yes, the difference is this is soft and
flexible.
pliable.
Supple. It stays very soft and supple if you
Now
just
listen.
use steam. I've had someone say it gets like a raincoat.
Yes.
And that's kind of what it is. Might make great raincoats.
Another use for Texture Magic, especially if you live in Seattle.
Yes. Or Southeast Alaska.
Yes.
All right, shall we show them how easy it is to do it with a steamer?
Yes. This little steamer we found at a quilt show. There was a company selling it, and when I first saw it I thought, oh, it's just a piece of plastic.
I thought it was a toy.
But my gosh, do you see that? It's like my personal fog machine. It really, really puts out the steam, which is
and
making
the beauty
it hot.
of it is it doesn't get hot down here. You don't want to hold your hand on it, but you can put your hand on there. You could not do that on an iron with steam coming out like that.
Right.
You don't want to get your hand in the
yes.
steam because it's hot.
And this you can place directly on the fabric and it will stay soft. And it's much easier to guide it as you see it steam. And it lays flatter, the edges don't curl as much. Now you can see this square becoming perfectly flat and square. Okay.
But as you can see how flat this is? Because it shrank evenly in every direction, we've got a flat piece of fabric again. So when you cut your pieces out of here, they're going to be nice and flat and easy to do.
We've finished steaming and it's still very pliable. And voila!
Look at that beautiful piece of fabric. That turned out gorgeous. Ooh, I like that.
It is good, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
And this we used with a different kind of thread. We texturize it using Razzle Dazzle, which is a bobbin thread, and we'll demonstrate that in a later segment. But that's what gives that definite look.
I just wanted to talk again briefly about being sure that your Texture Magic side is flat. Make sure that you don't have wrinkles and creases back here. The reason is you do not want to go to assemble your project, have all your pieces cut out, you're now assembling your bag. You don't want to press this seam between these two pieces and have this one shrink some more, because at that point that one's going to go right along with it. The same thing if you're doing a quilt block. You don't want to have this fabric shrink some more and have that one go along with it, because your block's not going to be square when you're done. But once it lays flat, it's done. It won't go any further. Texture Magic is 100% polyester. You can take this piece of fabric when you're done and throw it in the washer and dryer. It's going to come out looking just exactly like this when you're finished.